With the 16th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Byron Murphy, defensive tackle, Texas.
There's now officially a run on defensive players.
It's arrived.
So Byron Murphy is now going to the middle of the defensive line in Seattle, and as this pick gets announced, Minnesota just traded up into the Jacksonville Jaguars spot 17th overall, giving up a 3 and a 4 next year and a 5 later on in this draft, but we'll get to that in a second to talk about this kid from Texas going to Seattle.
This is the best defensive tackle in the draft. Leverage and quickness, very disruptive. You talk about the ability to penetrate and make plays. He can do that. You want to double team him. Watch his knee almost goes to the ground. He's got unbelievable core strength. Be able to drop that knee down and anchor down. Stacking and shedding blocks. Some guys hang on blocks and create a pile. He gets off blocks and goes and make tackles. Playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage in the run game, he's almost impossible to cut off when he's on the backside of a run play. He just beats blockers to spots. But this is the calling card. Only 5 sacks. Doesn't seem like a huge number, but a highly disruptive player. Joel, let me give you a couple numbers here this offseason. Chris Jones, 5 years, $158 million. Christian Wilkins, 4 years, $110. Matabike, 4 for $98. Derek Brown, 4 for $96. This is a league that values defensive tackles, and this is a very good one.
And it's a coach who really values defensive tackles. Mike McDonald comes from that Baltimore tree. He was at Michigan for a year, then with the Baltimore Ravens. And when he builds a defense, he builds it front to back and inside out. The first thing that they need to do is build a run wall up front before they can get to the
birds chirped, and I guess they were right on that one. Boy, there's a lot of defensive tackles over there, aren't there?
A lot of them, but versatility. When you have a lot, that means you can auction off and get back what you need.
Bucky, what kind of defense are we running over there?
I think they're gonna run a hybrid defense. They got all those defensive tackles. They can do a bunch of things. But I will
Leonard
say,
Williams can play that 5, right?
Aaron
Reed out there 5.
I mean, they
put
can
the
do
nose, Byron in the nose.
Yeah, I mean, they can do some fun stuff. This dude is super explosive, great hand skills, plays with the energy, kind of reckless in terms of the middle, creates havoc and chaos, like the disruptive plays. And what we know about Mike McDonald, he knows how to make it work. He made it work last year with Baltimore when they didn't really have a pure pass rush and found a way to get it done. He'll find a way to create one-on-one opportunities for Byron Murphy, and you'll see the rest of those guys also benefit from his presence.
Tremendous tester. First step quickness is really unmatched from interior rushers this year and really in many of the years. And the other thing that really stands out about Byron Murphy is that whether it's first down or third down, he has a chance to penetrate and cause real problems for overmatched interior linemen. If you are not an athletic interior lineman, you're going to have major issues with Byron Murphy, snap in and snap out. And when you have that kind of penetrator who's also strong at the point of attack, that now creates offensive lines have to slide protections to help you out. They have to account for you with certain run plays. Certain run plays are going to be scrapped, especially when you have guys like Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed who can stack and shed you. So this is, I like the pick because Mike Mack's saying, hey, we're going to play some defense. Finally, we got somebody trying to play some defense in pro football.
With the 81st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Christian Haynes, guard from UConn.
Good player who's played a lot of ball. 49 starts. I believe he's ready to play right away once he gets to the NFL. He's got an enormous lower body, plays with excellent awareness and under control. You watch him here getting up to the second level. Again, any of those 3 interior spots, he's going to be able to plug in. We saw that at the Senior Bowl when he got a chance to be around him. Here he is again, getting up to that second level. Watch the angle, able to turn, get his feet positioned and control the block. Here he is as a puller, under control, gathers himself, able to clear out the hole on that linebacker. Pass pro awareness. Again, the intelligence shows up, and he gets a decleater right there, seeing that one. CD, we were down there for this one. I thought he really helped himself down there in Mobile with his work.
Frustrated Jordan Jefferson a little bit. Took a helmet off and let it go. But Joel, when you watch him, I see Nate Davis, who's now with the Chicago Bears. Different type of a body, different type of a stance, but going to battle you all day long. You want to deal with him, pack a lunch, and maybe a snack.
What I love, guys, is that we constantly come up with these picks and we'll be like, well, there was questions about this or that and didn't do well in the interviews. That is not Christian Haynes. As Jim Mora, his head coach, said, he is a great human being and a program-first guy.
With the 118th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tyrice Knight, linebacker, Texas, El Paso.
Tyrice Knight, you want production, 140 tackles, 4.5 sacks. He's an inside linebacker. He just bounces around all over the field. He's just a really fun player to watch. You'll see him working against crossers in pass coverage. You can really see him run. Take on wise, I thought there was some work to be done there to be a little more physical and getting off blocks inside. But man, he is fun to watch. A ball of energy at the linebacker position.
He's one of the guys that I had in my Pound the Table article, guys that I think are going to make someone's team and make them better, whether they're a high draft pick or not, because you're right about the take-on ability. But we see that a lot of college linebackers, don't we, DJ? Their ability to slip blocks and go make plays because they're better than the guys they play with in college. He'll learn that a little bit more, but the biggest thing is sometimes production matters. Look at his tackle numbers at UTEP the entire time. Every time you looked up, he was attached to a ball carrier.
I love his story. Independence Community College for 2 years, then goes to UTEP, plays 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. This is a guy who's played a lot of football.
Look at those tackle numbers, Peter.
200 tackles in college, in high school. So this is a tackle machine. Just
was the 121st pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks select
A.J. Barner, tight end, Michigan. Go Hawks!
All right, so Mike McDonald knows who A.J. Barner is and now has brought the Wolverine to the Pacific Northwest.
It's amazing that there's so many connections with these picks and these players and relationships. That matters because everybody can watch the tape and see what you see there, but knowing the person and having that intimate knowledge of them can really help you assess the proper value and put them in the right spot. This is a physical blocking tight end. He's someone who can put his hand in the ground and can move you. This is going to be a friend to the running backs and the quarterbacks in Seattle.
Yeah, Disley's no longer there, correct, in Seattle?
Yeah, he's now with Jim Harbaugh at the Chargers.
So that makes perfect sense for that. And don't forget, he started his career at Indiana. You know, Michael Penix might have been in Atlanta saying, can you get me my old tight end back? But in this case, he goes to Seattle. And Peter, I think that's a good spot for him.
I think it's cool when you talk about the connections. And obviously, McDonald in Michigan. Grubb, their offensive coordinator, was the offensive coordinator of the Washington Huskies. Of all these players out of the Washington offense who were drafted yesterday, 6 of them, none of them by the Seahawks, but they do get a guy that McDonald knows very well.
Yeah, I thought Patano might end up there. The offensive line coach went in that deal. In that deal.
With the 136th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Nehemiah Pritchett, defensive back, Auburn.
Seattle Seahawks making their selection. We got a corner here that's heading to the Seahawks.
I like this pick for Seattle. Kind of an old school throwback Seattle cover 3 type corner, but he can get in your face and press. Nehemiah Pritchett's got good size, 6 foot. He's 190 pounds. He's got length to him. He's willing against the run, so he'll come up and support the run. And the other thing that stands out is I wasn't sure about this on tape. He's a 4.36 40 player, and you see him right there striding with Malik Neighbors making the play. I think when the ball goes downfield, he's got to play with a little bit better vision and get the head around a little quicker. And he is a player I think that you don't want to have him due to a lot of mirror and match out of off-man coverage. So playing some cover 3 would make sense, being a full-time press corner because he can press and run with even the fastest vertical routes down the field. I think this has a chance, even as a 5th round pick, the first pick of the 5th round, I think this has a chance to become a future starter for them in Nehemiah Pritchett. He's got the mentality, he's got the pedigree coming out of Auburn. He's got speed, he's got size, he's got length. I think he's a little bit more limited, Mike, in terms of the scheme that you want to play him in. But for Seattle, once again, this really reminds me and beckons back to the way that they played that cover 3 defense for years, and they had a player like Richard Sherman. I think Nehemiah Pritchett's got some of the same size, length, and attitude out there on the perimeter.
With the 179th pick of the 2024 draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Sataoa Laumea. He's a tackle from Utah. Congratulations.
A little position flexibility here. Play a little guard, play a little tackle. Also played for a significant period of time. You know, typically Kyle Whittingham's boys up front usually have gotten the job done, especially in that run game. But I don't know. You're the expert, man. You tell me.
No, he's a tough player. I like him. He's going to move to guard. He's going to be a full-time guard, and I like him. I thought he'd go in the 4th round. I wanted to say there was maybe something medically that caused him to fall, but he's a good player. He can move his feet, as you're seeing here. He can shift, change directions. He's tough, as most Utah offensive linemen are, and he does give you he's probably a guard who might be able to be an emergency tackle for you as well. I like the selection here.
So with the 192nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select DJ James, defensive back, Auburn.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, I got like a second-round talent grade, film grade on him. I think he's a really talented player. He was good last year. He's good this year. He can really play. I'm not sure why we're talking about him in the 6th, other than he weighs 175 pounds. But, I mean, we also had Jacob Cowan get drafted, Tank Dell get drafted, Xavier Worthy get drafted. These are wide receivers who don't even, who have a hard time cracking 170. So, I don't know if there's something else going on here, because DJ James is a full-time starter in the SEC at cornerback. He makes plays on the football, 10 PBUs just this year alone. He had 8 pass breakups the year before. He's got very smooth, fluid, mirror and match footwork. His speed is good at 4.42. He's not the biggest guy, but man, Bucky, he can match up from the slot. He can match up outside. Like, why is he going in the 6th?
So what happens sometimes when it comes to it is the profile. Like, depending on how the corners have gone off the board, we've seen various runs where we've seen the wide receivers go off, so quarterbacks go over, running backs. Everyone has their run. Now we're going on the 2nd or 3rd run when it comes to the cornerbacks. Luckily, he's going to a program where they give young players opportunities to play on the field. That's led by John Snyder. So even though he's a 6th-round pick, he may actually have an opportunity to get on the field and actually play, which is different than some programs.
With the 207th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Michael Jerrell, tackle from Findlay University.